Day. Just want to briefly introduce my family. My wife, Jamie. My eldest, Sophia. Isabella. Baby Jack. And if you can't notice, we have a fourth on the way. We're expecting in January. Thank you, guys. Love you. Bye, honey. All right. Well, I wish I could start this with positive news. But the reality is we're in grave trouble as a country and a state. Things are rapidly moving in the wrong direction. And we've seen these terrible, radical, leftist ideas start in academia and in intellectual circles. And then they're being pushed into our culture through entertainment and the media and the ruling elite. These are not values that we share. These are not values that Americans or Nevadans have asked for. They're being imposed on us. How did we get here? Well, we all remember all the bad things that happened in 2020. How about BLM? The top former law enforcement officer of the state, to watch what the media and our ruling elites did to our law enforcement was just so shocking and unconscionable. And as you all sat in your living rooms and watched, there was virtually no dissent from the dangerous and false notion that all of policing was systemically racist. It all needs to be transformed and defunded. Well, it's very predictable what that would lead to. You know in your communities, what kid wants to be a cop today? So our law enforcement is thinning out. They're under siege. They have no support from our leaders. And as a result, crime is spiking all over America. Big shock there, right? This was all under the overhang of COVID last year, where our elites teamed up to paint a narrative that lockdowns was the only way to save our state and our country. Well, as we know, Governor DeSantis showed that you can balance these things and find a way to keep things open and protect the vulnerable. This is why they go after him with such ferocity, because Florida showed a different path. But then we saw through COVID amazing amounts of hypocrisy. We saw in this state, our governor, and in California, their governor, both got busted with masks indoors in events they weren't supposed to be unmasked. We saw a week ago the mayor of D.C., right after a mask order, getting busted with her mask off. And there was a liberal reporter that said, well, if you look really closely, it looks like she may have been giving a toast. So we should give her a pass. Because the elites, they look out for each other, you know? They're all in one club, and we're all in another club. And how about the biggest one of all of COVID? Obama's party at Martha's Vineyard. You remember this party that they said they're going to scale back from 800 people of all the rich and famous from all over the world? And, of course, the media didn't attack this event. In fact, one reporter got caught saying, well, that's a sophisticated crowd at his party, so it's going to be okay. This is exactly what we faced all throughout COVID. And the cancer spread into our culture. It spread with these dangerous lies about America being about white privilege and this systemically racist nation to its core. This stuff, not only is it dangerous, but it's just categorically false. Our framers gave us the freest nation on earth. America's the greatest nation on earth for a reason. Because of our Constitution and the amazing system they gave us. But you see, they want to take that system down. And you know why? Because if they can tear down our Constitution and our rule of law, guess what? They get to replace it. And they are in the process of doing that. Make no mistake about it. Which is why we must stand up and fight for our state and our country. Are you guys with me? Now, all of this crescendoed at the beginning of this year to peak cancel culture. When big tech was able to silence President Trump and take him off of social media. I mean, does everybody remember the pit in your stomach? If they can silence Donald Trump, what about all of us? Do we have a chance to speak back and fight against this stuff? It sure felt very, very hopeless. And they didn't stop there, of course. Big tech has been ruthlessly enforcing the ruling elite's worldview on everything from COVID to election integrity, you name it. If you fall from the orthodoxy, you're going to be canceled, suspended, pulled off. So now is the time for us to stand up. And I could tell you that this crowd of 4,000 people is quite a signal we're going to send to these people that we do not intend to take this lying down. I encourage two things. People always ask me, what can we do? Well, first, support the people that are courageous. It is hard to stand up against this tide. Whether it's a governor like DeSantis or Senator Tom Cotton, who you'll be hearing from shortly, and a lot of the speakers here today are here for a reason because they are fighting back against this cancerous leftist culture. But support them, but don't stop there. If there's a mother that's standing up against critical race theory in your school district, support that mother. Find a way. And I just want to leave you with one thing. In the end of the day, we have to be accountable to ourselves. And when you go to bed, you have to know, did you stand for truth or did you back away when you could have stand for truth? And I know it's hard. And cancel culture's there for a reason. They're doing that to intimidate us and silence us because they know if they gain steam and it's not stopped at the front end, it grows too strong.